I said we were going to do something stupid. Yeah, the time has come to do something stupid. Hey everybody, so I figured we could do some faceting today. I'm looking forward to getting into some cool stuff. I've got a slightly ridiculous plan for later in the video, but first, we got a box from somebody, and he sent me something to work on specifically, and yeah, it should be really cool, so let's take a look. So, our buddy Kurt over at Rock Hounding Adventures out in Colorado sent us this piece of Juniper Ridge fire opal to facet for him, and it should be a very, very pretty piece. My flashlight, yeah, it does want to cooperate. It's super, super pretty, but assessing it, I think I see some fissures in here. So first things first, I'm gonna head over and trim this down a little bit, and then we gotta square up our edges and get it on a dop. I'm sorry guys, I totally thought I was recording. I was not. It was on picture, not video. Anyway though, you didn't miss much. The stone adhered to the dop exactly the way we wanted it to. Now it is in the quill, and we are working on the girdle. The girdle is shaped. I'm gonna start coming in with the pavilion, and yeah, we could just go from there. Okay, it is transferred, and we are ready to go on the crown. So, we're doing something stupid later in the video, so I didn't want to spend too much time explaining what I'm doing. But I will go ahead and do that with this one, just because, I mean, it's the same process, just different patterns, if that makes sense. Okay, so, really, really oversimplified rundown. So, you've got your quill, or this is the quill, and then your dial. So what this does is you put your dop with the stone on it in here, and to get each facet, you lift that up and switch it to, you know, a different number, so on and so on. And that's how you get, where's a good example? See the faces on this? That's how you get those. Now, how you get the tilts, see how it's tilted like that? The way you put those on is with this right here. It goes from 9 to 0, and it's on 6 right now, so if we put it down to 3, this changes the angle that the stone is going to be touching down. So yeah, you just keep repeating that process over and over again. So a super simple way that I do it with this specific dial that I have on, because there's a bunch of different dials and pretty much all of them have different increments. So if you look, this goes from 0, sorry, let me pull that up, there we go, to 64, which means every time there's a line with a number, it's going to be 4. Increments of 4, which means to get these facets, what I was doing with that one was I would start at, let's see, 8. And then I would do one cut and then lift it up, pop it over to 16, do more, so on and so on until I finish that one set. Then we go up here and change the angle of attack, and then from there, so if you look, all of the tall lines, because there's tall lines, medium lines, and short lines, so all of the tall lines are going to be in increments of 8, which means if we follow it that way, we get a perfect octagonal stone like that. So to add on more facets at a different angle, we'll change this coil, or this level right here, words are escaping me at the moment, And then we'll switch to the medium lines, because each one of those is at in an increment of 8 as well. Which means, yeah, you just continue that process, and that's how you get those little triangular facety patterns and stuff. You know what? I'll just show you while I'm going on this one. Alright, so I'm demonstrating for this one. We are starting our first crown facet on 6 on this angle, and the big numbers, the big lines. Oh, another thing I wanted to explain really quick, because I didn't mention it, is this little thing right here. This little thing right here is super handy. So, we twist this, edge the stone down right before it touches the plate. We can then twist this way to lower this whole arm down, and that way to raise the whole thing. Which means for our first cut, take that down a little ways. So what we're doing here is we are deciding the depth of our first cut. So I'm going to keep lowering that gradually until I have it where I want it. Is that good enough? Yeah, a little more. Anyway though, the point being, once we get down to the depth that we want, we can stop touching this, and then we can just rotate this dial, and we know for a fact that it will all of the faces will be cut to the same depth. Okay, so our first facet is cut, which means we take this. Sorry, I'm trying to do this one-handed and it's not exactly easy. It was on 64, so now we move it to the next big line, which is 8. And we already set our depth on this, which means if we cut until it's no longer touching, we will have a perfectly matching facet on this face. Okay, so now we have our first set of facets done. And those were on big lines. Remember, big lines. So now we are going to swap from big lines to medium lines. And it is on 6 right now. So I am going to drop it down to 4. This is so hard to do one-handed, and you will see what happens. Alright, so I just started doing my first cut. You can see how that's like a perfect little triangle coming down. I forgot to mention last time I did a fasting video how I decide where to stop my cuts. So, we will stop this level when the point of that triangle is just about to touch this bottom corner. See? Right there. And now we will just keep following that along. So, like I said, now we're on medium line, so we're going to switch from 44 to 52. Over a little bit further. There we go. And do the same thing all the way. And there you have it. There's the next set of facets in place. So, again, we're just going to jump from medium line back to big line and do the same thing. Again, you can see that these are evening out perfectly because we are always working in increments of 8. Because we can just simplify everything to a ridiculous degree and just say big line, little line, big line, little line. And yeah, it will come out looking nice because you're still following that same incremental pattern. I'm a firm believer that fasting is not hard. It's just tedious and very confusing when you first start. But it really isn't difficult. Alright, well now that I have explained that, I'm going to get to work. I'll be back. Said we were going to do something stupid. Yeah, the time has come to do something stupid. So, I originally was going to do this with a much larger piece of quartz, but I realized that this is my biggest dop that I have on hand, and that's already with this big going to be, you know, kind of a headache nightmare for this thing to hold on to. So, probably this is about as big as I can go. have our girdle shaped, which means we are ready to start cutting really seriously. I'm thinking 16 is going to make it easy just to stay track of. I've got a plan, which I'm not going to explain yet, because if it works, it's going to be super cool. But anyway, yeah, how are we going to turn this into a sphere? Well, theoretically, I say theoretically because I have not done a test run, it should be pretty easy, actually. So, I showed this dial, oh, you're not even near it, there we go. This thing, earlier, right here, goes from 9 to 0. So, you know, theoretically, if we just do 9 through 0, that should round it out into a perfect circle. Again, I haven't done a test run, so I don't know if it's actually going to work the way I think it will, but it should, you know, like... Okay, so I've done all of my corrections, so we are good to just get going on it. But if you look, the time for the reveal has come. So, if we look at our dial right there, I think I already talked about how it's got 16 if you follow the numbered increments. So, we made 16 facets for our girdle. But, this is the fun part. By offsetting it 1 click every single time we change an angle, that allows us to create a spiral cut. I'm trying to find the lighting that best shows it off. Might not be able to tell until I get higher up angle-wise. But yeah, so we're not only going to have a faceted quartz sphere, we're going to have a faceted spiral quartz sphere. And as if that's not cool enough, here, let me find a pocket. I'm getting into those rainbow sections so you can actually see exactly why I chose this rock shop phone. See that rainbow in there? So yeah, we're gonna have a rainbow spiral faceted quartz sphere. Alrighty, that took forever. But that being said, side A is done, so it is ready to swap over to another dop, and then we can do the other side, and then we're done, like actually done. We are rough shaped, so let's switch over to 600 and keep on going. Do the whole thing like 3 more times. It's finished. Well, there you have it. It is finished and it looks so cool. It came out a little more squatty than I wanted it to, but that's my fault. I didn't realize at one point while I was shaping the first side that the resin let go. So I mean, it was like flopping around. So yeah, these cuts were way deeper than over here. So I had to go shorter with the whole thing to get, you know, iron everything out. But yeah, all in all, I am very happy with it. There's a lot going on in this little stone. Those rainbow pockets are just so cool. Yeah, very, very happy. Also, let's keep in mind that I've never done this before, so I think it would be a little ridiculous to assume that our very first try at it would come out exactly the way we wanted it to. But I mean, regardless, it looks so good. That spiral came out exactly how I wanted it to, and it's gorgeous. Also, I don't want to discourage anyone from trying this, because really, truly, anyone with a fasting machine could do this. If I can do it, so can anyone else. But if you are an impatient person, this is probably not the task for you. So, doing the math here, there was a total of, let's see, so 16 angles per level. Oh, look at that rainbow. Whoa! Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I just got lost in the beautiful rainbow sphere. Anyway, though, 16 facets per angle, and then there were 10 angles on each side, which means there was 320 facets. But let's keep in mind that when we started, we had a giant piece of quartz like this. So normally I would start on 360 or even 600. I had to start on 80, which means I had to go all the way up. So we did 320 facets 6 times. So really, we'll call that like, what, 1900? I think it's like 1960, I think, maybe, if my math is correct off the top of my head. Anyway, though, yeah, this took a long time. But also, seeing how well it turned out, I have one more big chunk right here, and another nice clear crystal that I am willing to sacrifice. Super clear. So you know what? I am gonna grab some of this, which is just slate. I'm gonna throw it on a dop, and I'm gonna do some testing on my own time. Because now, seeing how pretty this is, I am determined to get a perfect sphere. This one got a little squatty, and once we perfect it, we're gonna do this again. We'll consider this part 1, because I'm absolutely gonna do this again, and I'm gonna keep doing it until we perfect a perfect spiral faceted sphere. Alrighty, well, I think that's gonna do it for this one. That was a lot of fun, and like I said, I'm absolutely gonna be doing some testing, because I want to make more of those. Let me know what you thought down in the comments, and subscribe if I deserve it, if I earned it. I'll have links to various stuffs up in the description, as well as a link to Kurt's channel, because as you remember, I faceted this for him, so we're gonna have to send this back to him and see what he thinks. So yeah, make sure you check out his channel. He does some awesome stuff. Again though, thank you so much for watching. That's gonna do it for this one. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you next week.